Hey YouTube, Major Sporto here. I got a quick video on how to change out a headlight housing for a 2007 4Runner SR5. This is probably applicable to 2003 through 2008. I'm not sure how many different model years, but this is considered a Gen 4 4Runner. Different approach this week. I have a photographer. She's actually filming this. I wanted to go over the process of how to change these headlight housings out and a couple of tips that I couldn't really get when I was on YouTube earlier looking for advice on how to do this, but it's not that hard. You just kind of have to follow a few steps, so bear with me for a moment. As you'll see, these headlight housings become yellow. Here's an old one still in. This is the original equipment headlight. This is the new one. I got it on Amazon. I got a pair of them for about $200. This one has the LED halos in it, but other than that, it's pretty much the same as a factory one. But you can see after 13 years of use outdoors, it's become yellowed, and I've sanded it down a few times, but it just doesn't look right. So I went ahead and got a new setup. It's a little bit of a process to get these out. There's 4 bolts. They're 10mm each. There's one in the top corner. Okay, front corner, top, center top, lower center top, and then this one, which is all the way down underneath. This one you get at from coming in from the fender. You remove these bolts. There's one here, and 2 down the bottom, and you can reach in. It pulls the plastic back, and your hand can get in there, and you can take a wrench. I took a electric socket that I had, the 10mm, and I took it off with that. So that's the best way to get at these. But when you take this out, this unit is pretty much identical to the original. And what I did is I just used wire splice, Scotch-Brite. They're the Scotch splices. Come on over here. And you should be able to see right in here, the halos have a positive and a ground, and I tied them to the green wire on the marker light, and the white wire with the black stripe, that's a ground. So I just clipped them in there with these Scotch connectors. I figure they're as good as anything, since it's not mission critical. If this was something ignition related or something with any of the critical components, I would have soldered those connections, but they're all right. Okay, now you can see I have the driver's side, passenger side here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. All right, so this one, I'm gonna remove these 4 bolts like I showed in the other video, and I'm gonna take this out. All right, back to the action. I'm gonna take this out. We'll go under here to the quarter panel, or the fender, sorry, and I'm gonna remove the 10mm bolts down here. Okay, and then I'm gonna take these out here. I already took this out. This is the splash guard. I removed the plastic tabs, broke a few. I'm gonna use a plastic rivet, put this back in. This comes out. Okay. And got my 10mm. I got 2 types. I got this. I got this at Home Depot. It's very handy, but that usually doesn't have the strength to break it. I usually use a wrench that's a little rusty, just to spin it a little bit. so be careful. You don't want to break them, but you're able to slide this plastic piece out. And the bolt you want is way up there. You can kind of reach up there, and this is where this handy dandy motorized ratchet seems to make short work of that. But the bottom of the headlight is up there. Let's see if I can do it. It's right here. Okay, so on the other side of this, there's a bolt or a nut on the other side of this, and you can get your wrench on it. Not getting anything in your face, but yeah, you should be able to zip that off. Okay. It's right up in there. All right, so I'm gonna get on that right now and see what I can do. All right, I got everything out. Use the wrench to do so. And this is now ready to come out. All right, so we'll go ahead and set it up. So you want to cut that off. The kit I bought came with some crimp connectors that are a little different than the ones I use. Look pretty straightforward, so I'm going to use these. But take your material off here. Okay, I guess they keep dust out. You can start attaching your main bulbs if you like, kind of get them out of the air. Just start bending it over a little bit. Try not to get your fingers on these halogen bulbs. Okay, I'm not upgrading to HIDs. I didn't need all the drama with the ballasts and all that stuff. So I like these. That's the original bulb. I've had this truck since new. I never changed out any of these high beams. I might have to do that soon. That one looks a little beat up. But this fits in here only one way. Tighten it, clip it. Okay, you have your running light. Pennsylvania, they have to be amber. Who knew? Okay, so I run the amber ones. I think that's the original anyway. I switched them out with the clear and amber. That was what I pulled out, was a clear one. Goes in one way. Locked in place. Nice. Okay, last you have your parking light. Okay, this is what I'm going to tie the two wires to the halos to. Just by looking at this, you can tell that the white and black is a ground. The green is your power, comes on with your switch. So that's your positive. So that'll get the red wire. I'll do down here. And the white with the black stripe on this 4Runner is a ground. All right, so what I'll do, you don't want to use this circuit because this running light also acts as a turn signal. Unless you want your halos to blink with your turn signal, you can use this red wire. I don't like that. I see that on some of the new cars. Not my thing. I'm more traditional. I like the aesthetics of like a running light or a driving light, or what? Not a driving light, city light as they call them. It kind of gives me a city light, you know, like a little bit of light, more than a parking light. All right, so let's go ahead and let's study these things. I might just go back and get a set I'm not a big fan of these, but they do work. As I mentioned previously in the other install, the other side. This isn't critical, so I wouldn't use crimp connectors on a critical connection. All right, so what do we got? Pliers. If you ever use these, there's actually a way to do it. One side is butted, so you slide the open wire into that. So for the sake of this green wire for the red circuit, okay, I slide the green wire in because it's not getting cut, it's just getting spliced. And I had to orient this thing so it's facing where the red wire is coming from. And then I slide the red wire, this is the loose wire, all the way in. See, that one's not fitting up to the metal thing, might be too low. Just go all the way in, there it goes, clicks in there. And then always make sure to kind of push the wire in. It doesn't just want to sit in there, the spliced wire, the wire that you're splicing into. Okay, I always like to just push it with a screwdriver, so just to get that extra push in there. Okay, get it under the crimp. No, I'm not liking these. I'm going to take this apart. It's not giving me a comfort. Here's a more traditional type that you buy at the auto store. You buy at Carlisle or whatever. When you go to a flea market, you get these by the bag. All right, this is what I call a Scotch connector. Just has a little more forgiving. All right. We did. We went ahead and crimped these wires. Okay. I meant to capture it, but I didn't. I didn't hit record. All right. So you know, these are basically red versions of the blue Scotch crimp connectors that you get anywhere. This is just a light duty wire. It's not really mission critical. When you use these, I always like to seat them just a little touch with a screwdriver, then clamp them with a set of pliers, making sure to clamp straight down. Okay, and then the last set, you plant, just so you know, the LED has a red wire in the halo and a black wire for a ground. This wire here, this white wire with a black stripe on the 4Runner, this is a common ground for the entire circuit. And then this one, this green wire, is the parking light wire, and I wanted to make like a city light and not like a turn signal. If I wanted the halos to blink with the turn signal, I would have spliced the red wire to this red wire right here. This goes to the DRL, which is also a turn signal. Okay, so in the daytime when this is running, this light is on when the car starts. When you hit the turn signals, the daylight, the DRL, daytime running light, blinks on, blinks off, blinks on, blinks off. I don't want that. I'd rather have them on with the parking lights. Here's a parking light right here. It's a little amber bulb right here, incandescent. I didn't change anything to LED on this. I didn't go with HID or any of that other stuff. All right, just straight up halogen. Okay. This turns in, locks in. Okay. All right, so we have everything in. Seated there are H11s and the high beam. High beam is the original bulb. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set these in. Slide it in like this. Okay, lift up a little bit. This guy. Okay, good. Not quite. There we go. All right, good. Good. All right. And be careful. This is plastic, so it is breakable. Okay. All right. It's not just right. There we go. Okay, so we have 3 points of contact. One here, one here, one here, sitting in there. All right, so let me go ahead and, that's the high beams. Okay, you have a parking light down here, LED halo here, low beam, high beam, halo, and then this over here is the DRL, but that comes on with the key. All right. Same on this side, same on this side. And that, I think, is a really good look for this truck. I think I like it.